Well, good evening, KingdomPreneurs. How are you? Welcome to day 27 of our 30 days of pulling energy to create the space for what you desire and your future. Today, I want to talk to you about creating from the space of nothingness, the place of infinite possibilities, the Yud of Yahweh. I am Satella DeVeaux. I am a KingdomPreneur, spiritual entrepreneur, and I work with spiritual entrepreneurs, spiritual healers, seekers, small business and medium-sized enterprise owners who want to open their divine scroll, who have moved beyond just doing business, who've moved beyond just existing, who've moved beyond just making money, and you want to step in because you've been searching. You've said to the divine, you know what? I don't know who you are. I don't even know if you're real. But if you are, I need to know you. I need to find you because I need to know who I am and why I'm here. And trust me, if you're listening to me, you're in that space because our vibrational frequencies are matching. I don't know you and you don't know me, but yet you found me and I found you because I'm speaking to you. Now, this was the message that I was going to bring yesterday on day 26. But as we follow the awareness, as we are led, and I was directed to do something completely different yesterday, you'd have to listen to it. It has the same name and title as today. I'll call this part 2, and that will be labeled as part 1. As I've said before, it is not my desire in any way to mislead or to deceive anyone. I've always stated from the very beginning that I am a person of very deep faith. I am a kingdom believer. You know, some people will say, "Are you a Christian?" And I'll say, "No, I'm not a Christian, but I am a kingdom believer of Yeshua, the Son of Yod Vav Yahweh, the Father, the Creator of all." And again, if you're listening to this, you can cut it off if you want to. It wasn't meant for you. But if you remain and you listen, then you were meant to hear because there are no coincidences. You came because your vibrational frequency is pinging and binging at the same level as mine. And that's why we're connecting for you to watch this video. And I said yesterday, you cannot create at this dimensional level if you have not done the inner self-development work, if you have not sought, if you've not been searching and seeking to walk with the Creator. And maybe you didn't know the name of the Creator, and that's why I'm here to bring clarity, and that is Yahweh. The Son is Yeshua. He has set a way, He has set a pattern for us and how to walk with Him. And if you're going to create from this infinite space, when we look at infinite possibilities, what are we talking about? We're talking about infinity. If we're talking about infinity, we're talking about the infinity symbol. But guess what? Right in the center of the infinity symbol is the Yod. It is the point of creation. It is the point from where every word that is spoken creates, and it never leaves the infinite. That's why it's infinite. It never walks away from it. It never leaves it. But when you step into that space and learn to create from the Yod, which is the nothingness, this is why you are now able to receive everything and embrace nothing. And you know why you know this is true? Because none of it matters to you. The house, the car, the money, even the relationships, even the family. None of it matters. Doesn't mean you don't love them, doesn't mean you don't take care of them, doesn't mean you don't take care or be responsible or good steward over what you have. It means that they don't own you, that you're not attached to those things, but you are divinely attached and connected to the Father and the Son. So now you're at a mature level and state where you can receive everything, and you absolutely have no need to embrace nothing. Someone could walk up to you and put $10 million on the table and ask you to do one thing that you absolutely know does not jive or vibe with you in this space, does not honor the Father or the Son, and you will not do it. You will not take the money. You will walk away from it. It is when you are operating from this space that I say you are actually a very dangerous person, because you now have the capacity, and I can't wait for us to talk about stepping into your energetic capacities to work with and actualize things out of the nothingness into the realm of this present reality. And yes, we're still talking about pulling energy. And yes, we're still talking about opening your divine scroll so that you can operate in this realm, in this dimension, and have the impact in the world that is mind-bending. Because you may not have all the verbiage for what it is. You may never have grown up in a church, and actually that's fantastic, because you will actually move through this quicker than someone who grew up into the church system or religious system, because they will be bound by so many dogmas and traditions that said, you can't do that, you can't say this, what is this? They would struggle with confusion. But if you're here and you're listening to me, you're congruent in your inner man for this level of receiving of this information and this impact. I also recognize that some of you, this will be planting a seed, as it were. And you might walk another 4 years. You may listen to this today and say, what is that woman talking about? That's nonsense. That doesn't make any sense. That's heresy, or whatever you want to call it. And you'll leave it alone. And then 4 or 5 years from now, and you're still walking the path, you're still searching, you'll remember this. Some of you, this is exactly what you've been looking for. And you said, what does this have to do with business? Because Yeshua said in Luke, occupy until I come. And it literally translates, do business until I come. You know, it says in the book of Revelation that the kingdoms of this world, the systems of this world, have become the systems of Yahweh and his son, Yeshua. The systems of this world have become the systems of the Creator and his son, Yeshua. So business in the marketplace and what we do in the marketplace and how it impacts lives is significant. And what has been wrong that has turned so many people off with the church system or the religious system is that they begin to created their little cliches of the Baptist and the Presbyterian and the Methodist and the Lutheran and whatever you want to call it. And then they picked a truth and they built a system around it. And when the only system they were meant to ever build around and really build into was the kingdom. The kingdom of Yahweh. That is what Yeshua came preaching, only. And if you want to operate as he operated and do the things that he did from the level that he did it, you have to become at one with the Father and the Son, and then you operate from a place of congruency. I really don't want to go over what I shared yesterday. Go back and listen to day 26, part 1 of Creating from the Space of Nothingness, which is the place of infinite possibilities, the Yud of Yahweh, part 1. And all of that is explained there. What I really want us to get here is that you're here and you're listening to this now because you're ready to create from speaking alone. And I know a lot of times we say, well, I have to do this and I have to do that. No. There are aligned actions you must take, yes. But the actions are the aftermath of the creation. Because when you create from the space, the moment that you've thought it, you've begun to put structure to it. You've actually created it. And the more congruent you become about what you've created, the quicker you can actualize it in this present reality. So Yeshua says, ask and receive. And when you ask and receive, do not doubt. Don't doubt that you have received what you asked for. You receive it instantaneously. And so you ask in congruence. Why? You must know what you require. I think 4 days ago, we spoke about creating your soulmate project. Why do I call it your soulmate project or vision? Because it's in your divine scroll. It's that thing that you were purposed for. It's that thing that you contracted with the Creator to do. And all of the resources, everything that you require, you already have. That's why you receive everything without question, without the hows or the who's or how will I do it or who will I talk to or who is my soulmate client or who's the soulmate financial funder or VC venture capitalist for this project. That's not necessary for you to know. Because you actually already know. You already carry the signature to manifest and actualize that in your life. And this is why Yeshua could say in Matthew 6:33 and on down, or upwards before you get to 33, he speaks about, do you not know that your Father, the Creator, Yahweh, knows what you already have need of and has already supplied it for you? I'm paraphrasing here. Do you not know that he says it is the people who are not connected with the Father who struggle and worry about these things? Because they say with their mouth, I have faith. They say with their mouth, I trust. They say with their mouth, I believe. They say with their mouth, I fasted and I prayed. But is a nullifier. but disqualifies your creation. It destroys it, and it puts up a barrier. The but is like a how, and it destroys what you've created. And then you have this fearful, expectation that maybe, hoping, probably it could happen. This is not the space that we're talking about. We're talking about you and your divinity of infinite being and creating. And creating, not just so you could have a bunch of stuff, houses and bunch of cars. I mean, how many cars can you drive at one time? How many houses can you live or sleep in at one time? It's not talking about that. When you get to this space, stuff really doesn't matter to you. You might want a nice house. For me, my body and energy requires me to live near the water. I love it. Just to sit on the balcony and have a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and to just be in the presence and in the moment with my Creator, overlooking the water, I require. Do I have to have 10 houses? No. There's certain things that you agreed to, that you negotiated with the Father when you came in. You take someone like a Mother Teresa. Let's use someone we all know. Profound works that she did. But her contract, when she agreed with Yahweh to come into this world, you know what she said in her contract? I will work among the poor and I will live as the poor. And then you'll have someone who will come in like a Bill Gates, who will say, I want to work in the technology area. I'm going to create this product that is going to be super, impactful to the world. I'm going to make more money than I could ever spend in 1,000 lifetimes. And I'm going to use it and give 90% of it away. You said, that's crazy. We don't do that. Psalms 139:16 says, before your substance, listen to me, your substance, before you stepped into time and became a egg in the womb of your mother, connecting the sperm and the egg in your mother's womb, Yahweh says, I knew your substance. And we created a book together about everything pertaining to you. And then he says in Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 10, he says, we are Christ. We are his workmanship, created in Yeshua for good works that was prepared for us to walk in. Now, does it mean that everybody walks in those works? No. I told you the grave is filled with people who started to and then says, no, it's too hard, I can't do it. Because you know what? It requires you to step up to another level. It requires you to operate at a higher frequency. It requires you to know that there will be people that will be critical and make judgments of you. And you must not react in a normal way, according to the world system. You know why? Because you've received everything and you embraced nothing. So, okay, somebody doesn't like this video. It wasn't meant for them. I have no hard feelings about it. I understand where they are. I understand where I am. I wish them well. Maybe they don't wish me well, or I wish them well and I continue. Because when you're creating at this space, you're creating to be a source of infinite goodness in the world. This is what Yahweh meant when he said in Deuteronomy 8:18 that it is he that gives us power to get wealth. So his mercy falls on the just and the unjust just alike. So when the people who are making porno movies and making truckloads of money, that capacity that they're using was given to them for good, but they're using it for not so good purposes. They fall in the category of gaining the world and losing their soul. I would rather keep my soul. And at one point I was said, not have a lot, but no, that's not true. Because my agreement and what's written on my soul scroll mission requires me to have significant amount of capital. It requires. And for the longest time, I couldn't understand, and I struggled with how I would pay for and how I would fund these projects. And I was always in the how. I was always stuck in where is this money going to come from? Who? How? How do I talk to them? How do I convince them? Do you understand how the how keeps you in this negative looping vibration that doesn't get you anywhere? That even if you got in front of a venture capitalist, he or she's gonna sense and feel the vibration of need, and need from a space of desperation. But if you were operating from the other frequency, where you weren't needy and you weren't desperate, because you understood that the moment the project, the vision was given to you to create this enterprise, to create whatever, whether it's online or offline, that you were in that creation was already the fulfillment of everything that you would need, everything that you require to bring it to pass. So what would you look like when you're operating from that space? I heard something the other day about someone who said, I'm going to build a castle in a particular country, Italy. We're talking about Gary Douglas. And apparently he made this statement like 2 weeks ago at the time. Didn't publicize it anywhere. And without looking for, because now you know if in this space, what you require is looking for you. What you require is searching you out. This is why the congruency when you ask is so important, that you stay in the vibration of congruency. This is why Yeshua said, ask, receive, and believe. Take the believing as congruency. at one with what you asked for, without the barriers of how I'm going to do it, because it's already been done. And so he makes the statement that I'm going to have a castle in Italy. 2 weeks later from he makes the statement, he gets a phone call from someone looking for him and says, I have this castle and your name keeps coming up to me in reference to this castle. Are you interested in buying a castle? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yahweh has been trying to get me to understand this for almost a year and a half. And I had moments when I was in that space and I was operating in it. And it's a very fleeting vibration, I could tell you that. It is very, very light. And I'm not talking about a feeling of lightness. I'm talking about a being of lightness. I know when I was being it, things happened. And when I wasn't being it, things didn't happen. And so I started to ask, well, how do I live in this space? How do I function every day from this space? And that's when he started talking to me, the Creator, Yahweh, about receiving. I'm like, I received. And he was like, no, you didn't. You're still in a state of expectation. I'm like, what? And he went, you're in a state of expectation. You're still expecting it. And he said, liken it to waiting. You're still waiting for what you've created to come to you when you already have it. You created it. It's already in you. And when you allow that frequency of what you created in you to emanate out of you, all that you require to actualize it will come to you. This is mind-blowing. I'm like, how do I do that? Because when the cable bill is due, or when the utility bill is due, or when the mortgage payment is due, and you're asking me to live in the space of creation, and I don't have any other kind of income coming in. He says, you see what I mean? You just got back into the negative, lower vibrational frequency of how. Because now you're in cause and effect. You're trying to figure out, because you step back into the world system that says you have to do A in order to get B. But I'm trying to tell you that you could start anywhere and get where you want to go. So you don't have to start at A to get to Z. You don't have to start at 0 to get to 100. Or maybe you do. Because the 0 is the nothingness. So you don't have to start at 1 to get to 100. Or to 1,000. Or to 1,000,000. What's the project? What's the vision? What's the energetic currency of the vision? Because you're creating at this level doesn't mean you don't know. How could you ask if you don't know? So my thing right now is learning to walk in this space on a daily basis. Every day. What are we creating today? What are we doing today? how to create the project, facilitate the project, follow the synchronicities of the project. When it's asking for something to be done, do it. When it's not asking for nothing to be done, don't do it. When it's asking for me to take an aligned action that's pragmatic and in the world, I take the action. If it's requiring me to take an action that requires money that you would say I don't presently have, from this space of creation, it would be incorrect for me to say, well, how do I get the money? The how brings up barriers. What is a better word that will keep you in the right energetic flow? What do I need to be and do? Where do I need to be to facilitate the creation of this particular aligned action? That's where you need to be. We're not going to do an energy pull on that tonight, because I think you need to listen to it more than one time. I need to listen to it more than once to really become one with it. What do I need to do and be, or what is required of me to be and do? Is there a place that I'm required to be to facilitate this aligned action? Because the creation now says, this is where, the angelic gets in play, because it says sometimes we are engaging with the angelic and we don't even know. But you'll get a prompting to call someone, or you'll get a desire to go and do something, or to go a particular place. And it makes absolutely no sense. Because why? He says the logic of this world is foolishness to the wisdom of the kingdom of Yahweh. It always seems counterintuitive, but it's not. Because when you learn to flow in this space, the actualizations of the manifestations are going to happen. Remember, the whole creation is groaning for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh. That's you and me. Sonship is a title, like Mr., Doctor, Lawyer. Psalm 69 says that the earth is waiting to bring forth its resources for us. He's teaching us how to be at one with those mechanisms of the system of the kingdom of Yahweh. This is why I'm a KingdomPreneur, not just a spiritual entrepreneur, not just a healing entrepreneur or a healer, an entrepreneur who works in the healing arena. This is why, even though I'm a lover and a seeker of truth, I'm not a perpetual seeker that never does anything, that never lands and becomes pragmatic and actually does something. So I say to you again tonight, KingdomPreneurs, if this resonates with you, please like and subscribe. make some comments. KingdomPreneur, Alchemy of Entrepreneurship and Wealth, YouTube channel. KingdomPreneur, Alchemy of Entrepreneurship and Wealth, Facebook group. I know some of you find me in ASA, Global Spheres Apostolic Equipping Center, and that's fine. I'll always continue to post there. But if you're truly coming from an entrepreneurial space, please subscribe to KingdomPreneur, Alchemy of Entrepreneurship and Wealth YouTube channel, and to the Facebook group. I truly love you. Yahweh bless you, and Yahweh keep you. And I will see you tomorrow, where we will talk about your capacities and step into that. Or maybe not. It depends on where the awareness is leading us at the time. But good night. See you tomorrow.